Hi, this is Jaya talking about yoga in the times of COVID. So it's been quite a year. As a small business owner, it has been a very difficult period for us. Financially, it has been extremely difficult. But just to think about the tens of thousands of migrant laborers in our own country who were left high and dry without a source of income and without a way of getting back to their own homes. Also to think about the friends, acquaintances in other countries who also run small independent businesses and who were forced to shut down. Many of these places, the spaces were on lease or on rent, and those just couldn't be afforded anymore in the absence of in-studio physical classes. So we are grateful that we have a space over which we have autonomy. As an individual, I have heard of people who say that it has been a time that they have been able to pause, to slow down, to reflect and to reassess what they are doing in their lives. Unfortunately, that's not how it has been for us. I found myself being pushed headlong into working harder and longer hours than I was before, and doing the kinds of things that were part of the reason that I left behind a conventional corporate kind of career, the long hours staring at a computer, a kind of disconnect between what one does and the effects of what that is, the lack of meaningful interactions with other human beings. As an instructor, yoga is a difficult subject to communicate in any case, and I find the term teacher, when applied to myself at least, I find it a little difficult to agree with or accept. In these times, in the online medium, things have been much more challenging. In another conversation I have with a friend, I had said that it feels more like I am writing instruction manuals. I don't mean it in a bad way at all. I love a well written instruction manual myself. But what I meant was that when it is freed up from the uncertainties of a real class where you plan something and you come in and then there's somebody with a problem or somebody that cannot do something, and the class can go off on a little bit of a tangent. So when one is freed up from that uncertainty, when I say uncertainty, I mean excitement. So one is freed up from that uncertainty of dealing with real people, then the classes can take on predictability, or rather they can be planned and they can be executed much better. So it gave us the opportunity to design some sets of classes which I think are really good documentation. They are good for people to refer to when working by themselves. There are many other things, observations as an instructor, that we don't have the time to get into right now, but just a quick one since we have just resumed classes. In the online classes, there were things that I thought I said, repeated many times. I tried to communicate as best as possible, that I demonstrated, and now it's been a few weeks and we are trying to repeat some of those things. I see quite a bit of gap between what I was trying to say and what people actually understood. Not that it's the end of the world and not that anybody has hurt themselves, but yes, there are certainly gaps in the communication. I think these gaps are quite acceptable in most other kinds of fitness activities. And once again, I do not use the term fitness activity with any sense of disparagement, but yoga, as I understand it, I think it is a much more nuanced subject, which as it is difficult to communicate, but a lot of things that we have tried to communicate have obviously not been communicated that well. As a student, the start of this lockdown period, I was as excited as any other enthusiastic, sincere student when I saw all these wonderful teachers that I have always wanted to study with, including my own teacher, considering that I don't get to meet him maybe more than once or twice in a year. So it was very exciting to know that they would be coming into our homes, into our living rooms. But pretty soon it became obvious, and not that it gradually became obvious, it just hit me in the face, or in the head rather, with a with a huge suddenness that I was just exposing myself to a lot of digital overload and feeling mentally fatigued and just too much of information and information overload. To think of an example, it's like when you are when you have in front of you a very rich buffet of all the dishes that you ever wanted to eat, and then we can't really exercise our moderation and we eat all we want to, and at the end of it we are left feeling not satiated and nourished, but feeling a little bit sick. It was a little bit like that. There is another interesting example that comes to mind, which I would like to share. It is something else that has become quite a popular phenomenon in the last few years, of listening to audiobooks, and I myself do it quite a lot. And I found a lot of similarity when one is listening to an audiobook. You get through the material fast, and there is this huge sense of gratification that I have gone through an entire book. But then when I think back, I realize that the story that is left behind in my mind, or the words that are left behind, or the picture that was formed in my mind is so much weaker, hazier. It's so evanescent and it just disappears compared to a real life book that I might have read many years ago. And the very facts that make such a physical endeavor for us inconvenient or more difficult, like having to buy that book, finding a place to sit and open it, and maybe putting on glasses, I think those very hurdles make the experience that much richer and penetrative. It's been very much like that with these yoga lessons as well, where one lesson that I have taken with any teacher months ago or years ago, which still sticks to me, something that I have done online, I realize I don't remember it a couple of days later, and pretty early I stopped doing more than maybe one class in a week, and then I have gone back to the traditional method of really reflecting upon that one class, either from memory or from purchased recordings of those classes, and it has been a lot more effective. I would end by saying that I am not dissing this medium, neither are we saying that we are going to, as soon as possible, we are going to move away and never record anything online. That's not true. There are of course positive sides to it, and it is a changed world that we have to accept. So we will do our best to assess and to do things honestly and efficiently. So those were my experiences. It is always interesting to hear other perspectives, and when we restarted classes and people came in, and when for many people it's been a long time since they have also come out of their homes and come into a group, so all of us like to talk, and it's been interesting to listen to them as well. So we invited some of them to share their experiences as well. Before I end, we have resumed in studio classes, and we are trying our best to follow all COVID precautionary measures, including this one, my favorite. Done.